Hello, my name is Norin Arshed and I am a Professor of Entrepreneurship at the University of Dundee School of Business. I've recently been made a Professor at the school and I'm delighted with the appointment. After a few years of chopping and changing jobs from being a civil servant to economist in the private industry, working both in public and private industries, I decided to do my PhD and graduated in 2012 and found my place in academia. I came to the University of Dundee in October 2017 and I have thoroughly enjoyed my time here working alongside my colleagues at the business school and the wider university. As a Glaswegian, I've fallen in love with the city, believe it or not, and find the people both at the university and my colleagues in and around Dundee to be very collegiate and friendly. I'm delighted to be part of the enterprise and entrepreneurship vision which is taking place across the university and is being driven by the business school. Today, I would like to talk about some of my research which has led to influence policy and in turn create impact. My research broadly lies in exploring enterprise policy, the formulation, implementation and exploitation of enterprise policy. Enterprise policy includes policy to increase startups and support SMEs to grow. It has emerged as one of the key policies of choice for governments around the world for tackling social and economic challenges. In January 2020, the Cabinet Office reported that the government had directly supported SMEs by spending $14.2 billion from 2018 to 2019. The figures in recent times will be much higher given the pandemic. The spending on enterprise policy in the UK is higher than what government spends on policing. This shows you how important this area is for government. I have highlighted some of the statistics to give you an idea of the importance of SMEs in the UK. If I could now turn your attention to my recent research, women's enterprise policy. Over the last 20 years, women entrepreneurs have gained a lot of attention from both governments and academics in the hope that we can come up with a solution to encourage and increase women entrepreneurs. This is not only a UK issue, but it's been a global challenge in the past 20 years. Over the last couple of years, it has hit my research interest as to why there has been little movement in the number of women entrepreneurs in the UK, particularly in Scotland. Let me put this into context for you. Pre-COVID, women-owned businesses in Scotland accounted for 13% of the private sector total employment. According to research undertaken by the Federation of Small Business in 2018, women-owned businesses contributed to $8.8 billion to the Scottish economy every year, an increase of 76% from $5 billion in 2012. As a sector, women-owned businesses contribute to the economy more than sustainable tourism, food and drink, and the creative industries. Yet the numbers of women-led employer businesses in Scotland have declined from 21% in 2017 to 14% in 2019. This is potentially attributed to the fact that women face specific challenges in business and their access to needs-based expert support. Furthermore, women start their businesses with 53% less capital than men and tend to draw more upon private capital, including personal savings and family finances. Women entrepreneurs have historically faced the same key challenges, regardless of sectors, country, environment, etc. These challenges include access to finance, challenges to gaining access, getting the right information and securing finance, networking. Women often find it harder to build a network as they do not have the traditional avenues open to them. Lastly, social and cultural barriers, childcare and working from home is seen as a huge barrier for women and a challenge for them. I undertook some research asking the question, how and when do ecosystem actors interpret, evaluate and influence the legitimacy of women's enterprise policy? The study explored the role of legitimacy in these outcomes by examining how and when individual stakeholders evaluate and then influence the legitimacy of women's enterprise policy. We looked at the enterprise policy ecosystem, which includes policymakers, those who formulate policy, delivery agencies, those who implement policy, and women entrepreneurs who exploit this policy, because many of the studies have yet to consider all stakeholders involved in women's enterprise policy agenda. From this research, I was appointed as an independent government advisor to the Scottish Government's Minister of Business, Fair Skills and Work in April 2019, Jamie Hepburn, who is now the Minister for Higher Education and Further Education, Youth, Employment and Training. My role was to undertake a Scotland-wide study and offer impartial advice on moving forward with women's enterprise in Scotland by providing recommendations as to what can be delivered, how it can be delivered and by whom. This was before COVID, and although COVID has changed every aspect of our lives, the more recent study, which I undertook as a Scottish Parliament Fellow, found that the challenges for women entrepreneurs remained the same. They had been amplified by the pandemic. The aim of this study was to undertake an in-depth understanding of the impact of COVID-19 on women entrepreneurs in Scotland and to explore the support that was on offer and available for them during and after the pandemic. The research for this project was undertaken between October 2020 and March 2021. This qualitative study is based on focus groups with women entrepreneurs, 6 focus groups with startups, and 6 with growth businesses in 6 regions of Scotland. Individual interviews building longitudinal case studies with 12 women entrepreneurs over a 4-month period, and interviews with 26 enterprise support agencies in Scotland. The findings of the report highlight the challenges women entrepreneurs faced were amplified during the pandemic. The main challenges focused around the historically reported barriers for women entrepreneurs: access to finance. Many sectors dominated by women were first to be hit the hardest and the last to receive financial assistance. Networking, understanding how the women entrepreneurs could ensure their businesses were promoted, etc. And social and cultural barriers, again, childcare and working from home. However, regardless of the challenges, opportunities also arose for many women entrepreneurs where they pivoted their business, learned new skills, exploited digitisation and continued their relationships with their communities. Enterprise support organisations were quick to try and support women entrepreneurs, but much of the support, and particularly the financing and funding element, was confusing and did not consider the heterogeneity of women and their roles. Policy actions arising from the evidence gathered in this research include access to quicker funding routes by investing in creating a one-stop shop for financial support and assistance for women entrepreneurs, facilitating access to Kickstarter and/or seed funding for women entrepreneurs, creating new approaches to sourcing investment capital, for example, crowdfunding and impact investments, creating digital centres based in local infrastructure such as libraries, universities, colleges and community centres to enable women to come together to learn and network. Creating coaching and mentoring champions in all Scottish regions for women entrepreneurs. Expanding and lowering the cost of childcare. This can include higher investment in after-school care and early years. And finally, offering childcare options within the social infrastructure. The policy actions can be met by a number of ways. Firstly, simplifying the women's entrepreneurial support ecosystem in Scotland, producing a toolkit to help women navigate the support and advice available to them, long-term evaluation of what is being offered to women entrepreneurs to access or assess the impacts both socially and economically for women, establishing regional women's business centre hubs, collaborating with financial institutions to provide available, accessible and appropriate finance for women entrepreneurs. So given the evidence collected in the study, where does this leave us? Future research questions to impact policy, especially women's enterprise policy in Scotland, we ask, what can governments be doing to ensure that women entrepreneurs benefit from their grants, loans and support in the current pandemic? When will policies harness the different roles women entrepreneurs play in their business, home and their communities? And finally, it's also worth noting that women entrepreneurs have highlighted opportunities that they have used to their benefit during the current climate. So how can governments and enterprise agencies learn from this to inform policymakers for women entrepreneurs? So how have my roles created an impact? Given my initial research paper, I was appointed as an independent advisor to the Scottish Government, as I mentioned. I was also awarded a Scottish Parliament Fellowship. I also have an appointment as a subject expert on the external peer review group at the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. This appointment involves providing an independent and transparent assessment of the quality of their evaluations prior to publication. And finally, in October of last year, I was appointed as an Impact Assessor for REF2021 Sub-Panel 17 Business and Management Studies. Bringing together my work and roles, I was able to influence the thinking of the Scottish Government with my research being part of the evidence base for the £50 million that is being invested in the future of women entrepreneurs by dedicating the money for a women's business centre. This is just the beginning of further work and impact that will take place over the coming years. I hope my research and impact can shape women's enterprise policy and entrepreneurship over the coming years, and also how I can support my colleagues and how their work is important to many stakeholders, whether it be influencing policy or shaping local communities. Thank you.